So I got my envelope. It's yay big, has my last name on it, and inside the envelope was my Backstage pass, my VIP pass, along with 2 wristbands, which I thought was odd. And then I was told there's 2 wristbands. There's a green one and a pink one. They said put on the pink wristband, do not put on the green wristband. I thought, okay, maybe the other wristband's for something else that's part of the package that I'll probably do later. The truth is, I never knew the green wristband at all. They just seemed to give us 2 wristbands for the hell of it. I was asking everyone around me at the time, and they said no, there's no use for it at all. So I get my VIP pass, I get my wristband, I put it on, and then me and the small group of people, we get escorted right to the Captain's Lounge. Now, the Captain's Lounge at every venue has been different setup, different location. My venue, it was just the tent outside. It was a tent with tables. It had a red carpet entry, which I thought it was pretty funny. It was making us feel like a VIP. And it also had a private bar that was fully stocked with everything I want, including sodas, alcohol, beer, and it also had signature cocktails that were designed just specifically for the KISS VIP members. So I thought wow, here we go. I'm in the show. I'm here to experience whatever KISS is going to offer me. Well, all the tables got filled up pretty quickly. So I found the table, had a small family sitting at. I asked them, hey, do you mind if I sit with you guys? They said, sure, yeah, sit down. I sat down, I started talking with them. Really nice local family. Father, you can tell, is a huge KISS fan. And he brought his wife, who seems to be a KISS fan, and his daughters, who I couldn't tell if they were actual KISS fans or they were just there to hang out with mom and dad. But they were fun. They were having a blast. Father and I were swapping good KISS stories and good concert stories. He's telling me he's been doing the VIP with KISS since the late 90s, and he's been meeting Gene on and off ever since then, and he's got great stories to tell me. I was very interested, and we were just having a blast. We're hanging out. As we're sitting there, everyone was getting settled and sitting at their tables, having a few drinks. I noticed that the merch table wasn't far from our tent, and I noticed that some people were getting up from their tables, leaving the tent to go look at the merch table. I thought, oh, well, this is my early access. They said I'll get early access to the merch long before the gates opened, long before the general admission was able to get access to it. So I got up and I walked over to the merch table, and it was just a gigantic merch table that had all kinds of shirts, all kinds of goodies, and all kinds of merchandise. I'm thinking, well, I already ordered shirts. I already got them on my way. I already got them sent out and ordered online. They'll be sent to my house pretty soon. There was no need to buy another shirt. But maybe there's one that I didn't see online. Maybe I wanted to pick one up. I didn't really see anything. It was the same stuff that was online. The only thing cool that they added was there was some extra stuff being offered. I thought it was pretty cool. Eric Singer's used drum heads was available. I saw pictures online of people going to the concerts previously. They were about $60 a piece. They went up in price at my concert. Now they're up to, I think, $160 or $175 for some of the drum heads. And they're used drum heads, and they're signed, and they're autographed with a KISS logo on it and everything. And it's pretty cool, but I thought $170 for a used drum head from Eric Singer, it's cool, but it's a little out of my budget right now. And I'd rather just be here to have a good time. Plus, I mean, I was kind of thinking, well, that means I would have to carry around a drum head all day, and that's not fun at all. So as I'm standing there at the merch table, I started talking to the people working the merch, started asking them information about the merchandise, the shirts, and all the other goodies that they were having. Tommy Thayer's miniature replica of his guitar. I thought that was pretty cool. I guess I got sidetracked. I got lost in time because I'm standing there. I was the only one standing there. I get a tap on my shoulder. I turn around, and I want to say his name was Steve, but basically our handler for all VIP guests. He was the guy in charge of making sure we're all knowing where to be and where to get around and escort us from A to B if we need to. He was there to just help us out, and that, you know, any questions that we had, he was there for us, being our handler. And he was a super nice guy, but he tapped me on the shoulder and he says, dude, we're going to Soundcheck right now. I said, oh, God, oh no, I missed the boat. And he goes, no, we gotta go right now. I came back. He came back for me, which I thought was super nice of him. And that's when I really started feeling like a VIP guest. He went back specifically for me because I wasn't in the lounge. And I guess he gathered everyone at the lounge and he left. And he says, no, man, we gotta go. They're doing sound check in a few minutes. I said, all right, man. So we left. We started walking together. And he said, you want to talk to the band? I said, yeah. I would love to. He says, you got any questions for them and stuff? I said, I'm sure I can. Yeah, I'm sure I can think of something. I had no idea I was gonna like talk to them. He says, well, that's good, because it seems like no one else does. I said, what? He goes, yeah, no one really seems to want to talk to them or say anything to them. I said, I can talk to them for hours. He goes, that's fine. But of course, we're keeping time. And as we're talking, as we're walking towards the stage, his phone rings, and it was Tommy Thayer's father, I guess, who was a local. He lived in Florida locally. As we got to the stage, he's talking to Tommy Thayer's dad. He was talking about what gate to meet him at, what pass to pick up, who's going to meet him there. He's going to get a golf cart to escort him to backstage. I thought, wow, this is really cool. This is I'm witnessing some backstage activity with the KISS crew. And then lo and behold, I get escorted from Steve, and then I pass through security. I walk right into the arena. They had us all sit down in the first 2 rows of the stage, and I walk in, and there's the KISS stage, completely empty, and getting set up for the show. And of course, everyone started taking pictures. Everyone started taking selfies. I tried to take a selfie. I couldn't really get the whole stage in the shot that I wanted to. So another fan who was doing the VIP with me, I asked him, hey, you mind taking my picture? He goes, yeah. So I stood in front of Gene's side of the stage, and he took my picture for me, and I thought, wow, this is so cool. Like, not a lot of people have the opportunity to take a picture in front of this KISS stage without having 20,000 people crowded around you. So I was living it. I was loving it. And then I took a seat. I sat down. We started to wait and wait and wait. I guess we were waiting for the band to come out. Waited a long time though. I can tell things were in a hurry to wait. And then I was really insecure about talking to the band, so I got up out of my seat. I walked over to Steve because he was hanging out. I said, man, are you sure? Like, man, I feel weird. He goes, no, dude, no. Whatever you want to say to the band, man, this is the time. Just reassure me. And he was just there to make everything a good time. And he was so helpful, and he was so nice to everyone, and he was super awesome at his job. So I sat back down. I started waiting. Everyone around me looked bored out of their minds, like they just did not want to be there. And that was really heartbreaking. I was sitting there, I'm looking at, Paul's guitar tech is hanging out. He's strumming and tuning up his Paul's Iceman guitars. I'm looking over at Gene's guitar tech. He's tuning up his Axe bass and his Punisher bass. These are the things that I feel like everyone takes for granted when they do these VIP packages for bands. They don't pay attention to these little things, and that's why you're there. That's what you're there for. So everyone around me was on their phones. There was a group of kids in front of me. They were playing video games on their phone. Like, they were just not caring at all to see any of the stuff. I was soaking it up. I was like, this is amazing. And being someone from the industry who's been on tour, who's been backstage at many concerts, I always love the magic of the show and seeing that type of stuff behind the scenes. I was already having a blast. I was having a great time. And then before you know it, on stage, out comes Doc McGee, KISS's manager. And I was like, oh my God, it's Doc McGee. Like, and it was probably me and 6 other people there who probably knew who Doc McGee was when everyone else was oblivious. But I quickly took a picture, and I was like, wow, when it comes to rock managers, he is a legend, and he's one of the greatest rock managers who ever lived. So that was really exciting, and he waved at everyone. We all cheered and we all clapped. And then lo and behold, before you know it, Doc McGee goes backstage. Out comes Paul Stanley. And Paul Stanley, just not in makeup, not in costume, just Paul Stanley. And I can count on one hand how many times I've been starstruck in my life. That was one of the biggest ones. I just froze sitting there, and I was like, oh my God, it's Paul Stanley. Like, I was freaking out. And he went right up to the front of the stage, no microphone, and he just said, what's up, guys? Hey, how's everybody doing? How you doing? And he was just full of smiles, and behind him was Gene. Gene walks out, and then the same thing happened again. I was like, wow, it's Gene Simmons. No, and I've seen KISS before. I've seen him live. I've never seen Paul or Gene out of makeup before in person. And I'm just like, wow, I was losing my mind. I didn't know what to think anymore. And then behind them was Tommy Thayer. Eric went right to his drum kit. Eric didn't even come out and say hi. He just went right to his kit. He was ready to play. Paul's guitar tech gave him his guitar, strapped it on. Same with Gene. Tommy put on his guitar. And then Paul went to the microphone. He says, yeah, how's everybody doing? So sorry we're late. Basically, he told the story how the night before in West Palm, Florida, that show was canceled last minute due to weather. which unfortunately made a lot of people upset. When Kiss is playing outside and the sheer size of a Kiss show is so big, when weather comes into play, you have to be safe and you have to be careful. So they had to pull the plug on that show, unfortunately. Apparently the weather was so bad, Paul says we had to fly. He told us a funny story. They flew from West Palm to Tampa. So basically, if you're not from Florida, West Palm is on the beach coast, the ocean side of the East Coast. And then Tampa is on the exact opposite side of Florida, on the west coast, on the beach, on the Gulf side. And he said that the plane flew through some of the storm, and Paul said that was the scariest flight we've ever been on. So he says, believe me when I say I am so happy to see you guys. And it was all just good and fun. And Gene, if you know Gene from TV and reading his books, he hates flying. He hates to fly in planes. So he butted in. He goes, yeah, I can second that. That was the worst flight I've ever been on in my life. That was horrible. And Paul, of course, Paul had to have a sense of humor. He says, I knew the plane was going to land. I just didn't know how. So he says, I'm so happy to see you guys. We're so happy to be here. And he says, let's what do you guys want to hear? Let's play some music. What do you guys want to hear? And of course, everyone started blurting out song titles and songs that I never would have thought people would blurt out for Kiss, for recommendations and requests. And you know, the big topic among Kiss fans online, the whole Soundcheck show that they're doing right now for their tour, the debate is it rehearsed? Is there a set list? Is it pre-rehearsed? Is it fake? You know, I don't care. I really don't care. And you know, I was there to have a good time. If it was rehearsed, so be it. If there was already a set list in mind, if there wasn't really taking requests, I don't care. You know, I'm there for Kiss. I'm there for the show. If you have something to complain about, seeing an intimate, private concert for just you and a handful of people from Kiss, if you have anything to complain about, I feel like you don't deserve to be there. I'm sorry. You don't deserve to be there. If you're going to complain about that, you're going to complain about the money, then don't go. Just don't do it then. That's as simple as that can, because I had an absolute blast and I was there. I was living it. And I tell you, the first song that they played was Hotter Than Hell. And those opening chords, sitting in second row of this arena with no one around you, empty arena, it hit me right in the chest. I mean, that was like, on a volume level, that was a dream as a Kiss fan. That once they started playing that song, I was completely numb. And I was ear to ear, and I was like, wow, like this is something that I'm going to remember forever. And I was having an absolute time of my life after that. And they sounded so good. And after they wrapped up Hotter Than Hell, Paul even joked, because it's not bad. Would you believe that we're not really playing, apparently? He said something about, you know, apparently what people say about me online. But I tell you, you know what? For the sound check, he sounded amazing. So I was thrilled. I was having a blast. After Hotter Than Hell, they broke out into Plaster Caster. And that's a song that you don't really hear live anymore at all. That's a song, I mean, way back in the Love Gun album. And it's really, really cool to witness that, to experience that, especially for a private show. I mean, that was amazing. Coming to the end of Plaster Caster, Steve walked over to me with a microphone. He says, "Are you ready?" I said, I guess I am, man. All right. The first thing happens, Gene looks at me and he says, "Hold on a second." Gene says into a microphone, "Hold on a second. Why is it always the biggest guys who want to talk to us?" I'm 6'8". I mean, I'm a big guy. He says, "Why is it always the biggest guys who want to talk to us and not the prettiest girls?" And I said, "I'm so sorry." I said into the microphone, "I'm so sorry, Gene. I do apologize." But Gene says, "No, really, it's always the biggest guys. It's never the cutest girls." What the hell, man? and that's Gene being funny, and that's Gene just having a good time. And I was flattered that Gene even called me out for being a big guy. So I was loving it. And just before I started talking, Paul looked at me and goes, I'm so sorry. Just can we do one more song? And what do you say? So I said, by all means, please do. I'm not going to stop you at all. I'm not going to stop Kiss from playing more. And Paul says, "Thank you so much." So they did Got to Choose, which is one of my favorite Kiss songs of all time. Gave the microphone back to Steve. That's when I decided to take my phone out to record it. And it sounded so great. Coming to the end of the song, Steve says, "All right, well, now you ready?" I said, "Yeah." And I thought, "Oh, dude, real quick, do you mind filming it for me?" And Steve says, "Yeah." So I put my camera on my phone. I set it to record. I said, "It's recording." I said, "Yeah, man, no problem." I said, "Thank you so much, man." So they wrapped up the song. They stopped playing. I don't remember what I said. I just remember standing there thinking, you know, I've been a Kiss fan for over 30 years, and it's only been a dream to talk to Paul Stanley and Gene, to talk to Kiss. And now I'm finally doing it. And that's all that I was thinking in my head the whole time. And I got emotional. And yeah, I ended up being an emotional baby in front of Kiss.
Hello.
Hi.
Just for a second, I think I can speak for everyone here, as well as millions around the world. We're so sad to see you go. And we're gonna miss you a lot.
We haven't left yet. And don't make us cry.
I'm trying not to. This is always home for the Kiss Army. It's gonna be hard not going home. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
And for 30 years of my life, you guys have been the biggest inspiration of my life. So thank you.
You've done the same for us. Look, you know, whatever we've done for you, you've made amazing lives possible for us. So there is no us without you. So whatever you think we did for you, we did for us. So back at you.
Thank you so much.
I got the camera back from Steve after my question and after I said what I had to say to the band, but Paul, Gene, and Tommy, each one of them gave me a guitar pick, which was like, I mean, I'm a musician, I'm a guitar player, and just I never once been into collecting guitar picks or memorabilia unless it was Kiss. And I have Paul's pick from the tour with Motley Crue and Kiss, but to receive personally a guitar pick from Tommy Thayer, Gene Simmons, and Paul Stanley directly to me, that was like, my life stopped for that one moment to soak it up, and that was like, that hit me hard, and I was like, thank you so much, guys, really, thank you. I can tell it meant a lot to Paul. It's hard to tell in the video. I can see from Paul's face, it touched him a lot, and it meant a lot to him. And I know that Gene is emotional. Gene's an emotional guy too, and I can tell that he was feeling it too. When you look at Gene from his TV show and reading his books and even his concert footage and stuff like that, Gene has a much better time hiding it, turning his back to the audience when he gets a little choked up. But I can tell that it touched him too. But I really meant it. I said, I really meant what I said. Like, those guys mean the world to me. To be in that moment, to stand right there and talk to them and tell them what it means to be a Kiss fan, in my opinion, it meant everything to me. And I couldn't even focus on what I was saying or what I was feeling. Thank God it was videotaped because I don't know what I said. I don't remember feeling anything. I remember my limbs, my legs and my arms were shaking from talking to them because I was so out of my mind being starstruck. But I can tell that it meant a lot to everyone else around me, especially by their applause from what I was saying. And that was really sweet of everyone to do that for me. And then I noticed after that, I suddenly encouraged everyone to start talking. I guess people started passing the microphone around and taking it from Steve because now they suddenly wanted to talk to the band. And the guy that came after me, he was right in front of me, and he was nice enough to say something. He said, "I could never match that guy. I never would have been able to put the words together like he did. He hit it right on the nail. You guys mean the world to me too." And this is a grown man just like me. It's starting to show. It's starting to spread around. Everyone was getting really emotional. Explaining what it means to be a Kiss fan and what the band meant for them. And I can tell Paul, Gene, Tommy, and Eric, they were all getting very, very touched from what I was saying. So it was pretty magical what was happening at that moment. One person stuck out. There was a family that was on the opposite side of the group than I was. I wish I got it on film, but this man, he explained how they're from Toronto, Canada, and he told the story how he had tickets to see Kiss before the pandemic, and unfortunately during lockdown and the pandemic, obviously that tour was canceled because the tour they're doing right now is the postponed tour, what they had planned originally. But then he said it is kind of bittersweet and kind of a blessing in disguise because now his two daughters are old enough to go to the concerts now, and everyone thought that was very, very sweet. And then he said, they're here with me right now, they actually have a question for you guys. And he gave the microphone to the two girls. I couldn't see them from where I was standing, but you heard them through the PA. I think one girl asked, what's your favorite song? And then the band looked at each other like, oh, like, what do we say? Oh my, this is too cute for us. This is too much for us. I mean, the girls had to be 6 or 7 years old just to crack up the cuteness in the air. I think they're standing right next to Gene, so the Gene pointed out to them. And of course, Gene's sense of humor, he pointed at them and says, how much for them? How much for the kids? I'll buy them right now. How much for them? And I thought that was pretty funny. That's Gene being Gene. And I think it was Paul. No, I think it was Eric. Eric went to the microphone. He says, well, what's your favorite song? What are their favorite songs? So one little girl said, Shout It Out Loud. And they played the opening bars to Shout It Out Loud just for them. The other little girl said, Deuce. And then Paul broke out in the opening riff. And then they played the first few bars of Deuce. And they did that just for those two little kids. Just for those little kids. And the whole group was so touched. There was a lot of emotions going on at once after all that stuff going on. And it was just magical. And and these are the things that you can't make up and you can't just expect to bump into. These things happen spontaneous. It was so magical to see that, and we're all there to celebrate Kiss and all things Kiss. After that, I think, they told a few more jokes. I think maybe one or two other people had something to say in the microphone to talk to them. I think Paul says, hey, we're gonna do one more song. I'm sorry guys, we gotta get back and start getting ready for the show. The show was already running late as it is because they showed up late, unfortunately. And I think they broke out into Shock Me. Yeah, they played Shock Me with Tommy singing lead, which is very, very weird because, that's Ace's song. That's Ace Frehley's song. But it was interesting to hear Shock Me. And, the subject of the current lineup of the members of Kiss is very, very debated and argued through all the Kiss fans across the world. A lot of people hoped Ace and Peter would come back for this tour. A lot of people like the current lineup. I'll be the first to admit, I love Eric Singer. Eric Singer's been drumming for Kiss for much longer than people give him credit for. I loved the Revenge album. It's one of my favorite Kiss albums. I loved his work through everything he's done, and to this day. I think he's a fantastic drummer, a great drummer. Tommy Thayer I used to not really care much for because I'm such an Ace Frehley fan. But there's one thing that I learned from this very moment when I was watching them play and I was watching them do Soundcheck. They enjoy playing together. They have fun playing together. While they're playing music and doing Soundcheck and they're doing this private little show just for us, of just 4 or 5 songs, they're having fun. You can see it. They're looking at each other, they're smiling, they're laughing. Tommy goes up to Gene's ear, says something, the two of them laugh. Paul does the same to Tommy, and then Paul, they're all joking around and they're just jamming. They're just playing music and they're enjoying everything about playing music. And I hate to say it, as much as I love Ace Frehley. I've spent a lot of time with Ace personally, had many conversations with him. I don't think Kiss would be able to play like that today with Ace Frehley and Peter Criss, to be honest with you. Maybe they could, but I think with the ego and the history and just the blood there, they can respect each other and they can be good friends, which they are. Ace and Gene have dinner all the time. Paul and Ace get along great. They all have mutual respect for Peter. Peter has dinner with Gene every time Gene comes to New York. But to work together is a different situation. And I think Kiss fans acknowledge that. And I think if you ever seen the current lineup of Kiss, especially their Soundcheck, you can see the difference. And that the current lineup is very well respected now, at least to me, because they really do enjoy playing together. And that's why the current lineup has been together for 20 years. It's really special, and to see that and witness that was really remarkable. And even seeing Tommy Thayer sing and play Shock Me, it was great. It was great. He sang it great. He played it great. Everything was great about it. So That's all I mean, that's my opinion about that subject. After Shock Me, that was it. They stopped playing. Paul took off his guitar. They all took off their guitars. And Paul says, all right, we'll see you guys later. We'll see you just, later on backstage. And I thought, oh, that's cool. I got excited for that, to hear that. As they were walking off the stage, they were, waving at people. Gene took a big chunk of guitar picks with his name on it, like this, like a snowball. And he just bursted it in front of the whole audience. That way he tried to make sure everyone got a pick. Everyone got a pick from Gene. As Paul was walking away, this woman in front of me, rushed to the front of the stage, and she started screaming, Paul, please, Paul, come here, please, Paul, I gotta talk to you. Screaming for him to come over, and Paul looked very unsure because they have a schedule to keep. He's got to get going. He's got to start getting ready. But he was waving nervously. She just kept saying, please, Paul, please, I gotta talk to you. I gotta tell you something. And just as Paul was starting to walk away, Gene grabbed Paul's arm and he started pulling Paul. And the two of them, Gene and Paul, started walking to the foot of the stage to talk to this woman, because out of respect, even though you got a schedule to keep, even though you've got a whole day that is planned and dissected to the T by time, Jean made it to the point where she's got something to say, let's hear her. So Jean and Paul stood at the front of the stage to talk to this woman just for her, and I thought that was really remarkable to see. And that's and that's respect. That's someone going out of their way for someone else. You could sit there and say all you want about Kiss fans and how they're treated by Kiss, but there's one thing that's for sure, and if you look at how Gene and Paul and Tommy and Eric and even Ace and Peter these days, how they treat their fans, they love their fans. They love Kiss fans. They love fans all across the world. And I learned right then and there that the rumors were true. That Gene has a heart of gold, and he'll do anything to be moral and to respect one another out of just each other. And he loves his fans. He loves Kiss fans. He loves Gene Simmons fans. And I thought that was really special. As they were talking to this woman, Eric came out with a handful of drumsticks. Everyone rushed the stage trying to get a drumstick from Eric. But as I ran up to Eric to the front of the stage, I started reaching my hand out for him and stuff like that. He wasn't with a microphone, but he kept yelling at people saying, these are just for kids. These are just for kids. Where are the kids? And while he was playing, he was pointing out all the kids in the group that we're in, and he made sure every kid left that Soundcheck with a drumstick. And I thought that was so sweet. I mean, you can be selfish all you want, and you can talk about taking a drumstick from a kid, or someone's gonna have something to say about that. But that is the sweetest thing, honestly, the Kiss is just nothing but for the fans, and everyone's talking about this tour and how, is it really the end? Is it really the end? But you know what? Kiss you can tell that they're not doing it for financial reasons. They're not doing it for anything else but for the celebration of Kiss and for the fans. And that's what they're paying back for right now. And just by doing these extra shows and stuff like that, it's remarkable how much they're giving back to their fans. And it's really, really, really something. And it was nice to witness too, firsthand, in person. So after that, Soundcheck got wrapped up. Everything was wrapped up. We all gathered together again. We got escorted back to the lounge where dinner was served. Dinner was awesome. I don't remember what they had because I'm telling you, by then I was on cloud 9. I felt drunk. I felt like I was on a whole different planet. It did not feel real to me. Just in shock that this was actually happening. But I did eat. I had dinner. I remember there was some sandwiches there and some fresh fruit. There was some meat. I think there was some pulled pork, a little bit of everything. I do remember walking by 2 cases full of cupcakes. And I joked around to the lady working to serve our food at the lounge. I said, is it someone's birthday? And then she says, no, actually, we were supposed to have an ice cream bar just for you guys. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. We couldn't get it today. So we had cupcakes made for you guys. I thought, thanks. Wow, okay. I mean, they really milked the VIP experience. They really went out of their way. And the food was fresh. The food was really good. It wasn't some chopped up, packaged, crap. I mean, you can tell it was actual catering. It was the real deal. Then the private bar. So they gave us drink tickets for the bar. Every ticket was good for one drink. After that, you'd have to pay. So the bar was not an open bar. It was not a free bar. But I'm sure there's a lot of people who's going to argue, well, it should be free. I paid the ticket. But honestly, the way that I look at any of these things, there's nothing to complain about with this VIP packages. There's nothing to complain about. And if you have something to complain about when you're doing it, in my opinion, you don't deserve to be there. Simple as that. You should just stay home. Or you should just get a regular admission ticket and go to the show and see the show and not worry about getting ripped off, in your opinion. I never once felt ripped off the entire experience. But we're sitting there, and I sat at the same table with the same family from earlier, started having dinner, started eating, having a few drinks. Everyone started approaching me. Everyone they got up from their seats, walked up to me, and they tapped me on the shoulder, and everyone said something really nice about what I had to say to Kiss. And everyone said, "Man, great. What you said was great. That was beautiful. That was awesome." And I would say, "Oh, thanks, man. Thank you so much." One guy who was partying hard, the guy was living life. He walked up to me and he says, "This is all just supposed to be one giant party. It's supposed to be a party, man." I said, "Yeah." And then he said, "Well, it's not a party anymore. After what you said, now it's a celebration." And I said, "You're damn right it is. It is a celebration. Because that's why we're together. That's why we're doing this. We're celebrating Kiss. We're celebrating the fandom, the music, the show. And that's the whole point of doing these packages. The whole point of these VIP packages is to celebrate." It was such a blast. After that, I got very close to everyone in the group. We're all telling stories, Kiss stories, and concert stories, and meet and greet stories, and bumping into celebrities and musicians, and talking about the old times. We were having a blast. We were having an absolute blast by then. After dinner, so before I left the tent, I went and used my drink ticket, and I was looking at the private menu for our private bar, just for VIP members. The drinks looked amazing. There was some kind of Kiss lemonade that involved with, looked like a vodka mix. There was the End of the Road cocktail, which looked like all kinds of crazy dark liquors. I've been sober for 6 years, and I really didn't want to fall off the wagon then. So I used my drink ticket. I said, "Can I just get a Diet Coke?" They looked at me like I had a third arm growing out of me, and they gave me a Diet Coke, and they didn't even use my drink ticket. They were like, "You can just have that, it's fine." But I was probably the only one backstage not having a cocktail. But I was having a blast, man. I was having an absolute blast. This woman came out who was one of the organizers for the VIP stuff. She says, "I want to thank everyone here. You guys are awesome. The band loved talking to you guys. They had a great time at Soundcheck because of you guys." Very humble, very nice of her to come out and announce that. And she says, "So we're going to cut you guys loose now. The gates are open. The show has started. General admission has entered. You guys are free to roam. You can go anywhere you want. You can go to the bar. You can go to the tents." She said, "You guys are always welcome to come back here and hang out here, get away from the crowds, and come back to our bar, come back and get something to drink, something to eat." And she said, "However, don't forget 7:30. At 7:30, meet at the side gate on Gene's side of the stage. Meet at the outside gate next to the stage, and be prepared to go backstage for one last meeting with the band and get your photo op with the band." So I thought, okay, cool, 7:30. I'll be there probably 15 minutes early, just because. I looked outside the tent. It was a large crowd out there, so I knew I wasn't even worth going to my seat. I might as well just hang out until 7:30 and try to be ready. I'd rather be early than on time for meeting Kiss and getting a photo with Kiss, especially. By then, my girlfriend and her brother were into the show. I texted her saying, "Hey, where are you? They're letting me loose. I can come hang out with you guys for a little bit." Told her about what I have to do later on, meet up at 7:30. She told me where they were, where to meet them, at what tent. I asked her real quick, I said, "Quick, do you want vanilla or chocolate?" She had no idea what I was talking about, but then I think she answered with vanilla. I said, cool. I grabbed a cupcake real quick off the table, and I took the cupcake with me into the crowd, and I brought her a cupcake, and I said, this is from Jean. Jean says hi. Here's a cupcake. But then we hung out, we met with some friends of ours, and it's getting closer to 7:30, 7:15. I said, all right, it's about 15 minutes before I gotta meet to go backstage. I'll meet with you guys later on. They took my stuff, and they went to the seats, and then I went to the side gate where I was told to meet with the rest of the group to go backstage to see the band again. As we're gathering around, we're talking again, telling stories, having a laugh, having a good time. The same woman, the same organizer came out, and then she gave us the rundown of what to do and what not to do backstage. Do not touch anything. Do not get in anyone's way because the staff is fast moving and hard working. Please do not get in the way. Don't go out of the way to take pictures. Don't pose in front of the gear. Don't do any of that stuff. Please be respectful. The golden rule was everyone is to wear a face mask. Everyone's to wear a face mask backstage. Not only to wear a face mask, but they were giving you a face mask. Now, I had a face mask on all day up until now. In fact, I was the only one in the VIP group who was wearing a face mask. Even though we're all vaccinated and we're all proven with COVID negative tests, I still wear one because that's what I choose to do. That's my own choice. And what I wore was the official KISS face mask from online that they sold in their stores. I thought that was appropriate. That was fine. When we were standing online to go backstage, they were handing out all the face masks, and I asked the woman. I said, "Well, I'm wearing. Is this one okay?" She says, "No. Unfortunately, we have to give you an N95 medical mask, which is the top of the line face mask when it comes to this stuff." I said, "Okay, no problem." So I took mine off, and I took the one that she gave me. So then we get escorted backstage, and the first thing I see when I go backstage is the film crew for KISS. These guys are in charge of the projectors, and they're filming the show and projecting it on the gigantic screens on the left, right, and center of the stage. And there's also the crew who do the graphics and the silhouettes and the graphics on top of the film. And then there's the third crew that involved with the photos, basically in tour announcements, screen announcements. At the very end of the show, there's always a name of the city and it says KISS loves you. They're in charge of all that stuff. Next to them, I see a small group of many tractor trailers. Each one of them was labeled. One was the pyro truck, the other one was the lighting rig, the other one was stage blah 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 rig. It was awesome, and they weren't kidding when it's a hustle, it's a fast moving environment, because the crew was, you do not want to get in their way. Do not get in their way. I don't care how drunk you are. I don't care how excited you are. Please just step next to them. Be respectful. Just be respectful. And if you give respect, you receive respect. That's the way you got to think of it. Always take it as. Even though you paid money to be there, you are VIP. You are treated as VIP. You got to remember, this isn't your show. This is KISS's show. So you do have to respect the backstage area. The opening act, we didn't even know there was an opening act until the music started playing, and everyone started to panic thinking, oh God, is KISS going on right now? Like, people started getting scared. The opening act was an artist. He basically was on stage with this giant palette, and he would do art live on stage while playing really, really loud rock music. And I thought it was really cool because I actually watched the whole show from backstage, from the film crew. After the opening act was over, we were still just kind of hanging out. We haven't seen the band yet. This gigantic garage door opens and it's the stage, and then I realized where I was standing was basically right behind Eric's drum kit, and the roadies started pulling the opening acts, this artist's stuff off stage, and they were hustling, and people started yelling, get out of the way, get out of the way, move, 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 move. And I remember jokingly, while stepping out of the way, I talked to one of the guys. I joked around and said, need a hand? And he looked at me, being a big guy that I am. He had a moment and he said, maybe. If I do, I'll come back for you. I knew he wasn't, though, because I know how this stuff works. There's no way that they would never let an attendee or a VIP member work. So, and that goes above union laws, insurance, but I thought it was pretty funny. And just as we're hanging out backstage, from a distance, I see Gene. There's Gene Simmons in full makeup and full costume. And I had this moment, it was like a little kid meeting Batman for real, or meeting Superman. Like, it was like, oh my God. Like that I was like, I instantly started getting jittery and sweaty palms. I was like, oh my God, that's Kiss. I mean, I just saw Kiss do Soundcheck, but there's Kiss again, but in makeup and costume. And Gene came out, waved at people, said hi, and so did Paul. Paul, I saw Eric, I think, too. And they were all done up in makeup and costume, just walking up to people face to face saying, hey, what's going on? Everyone was wearing a face mask. Everyone was being protective, but the band went right up to them. I think, I could be wrong, I think in the distance I saw Gene fist bumping people. I don't think anyone shook hands or anything like that though. But you know, there comes the time when doing the photo op. And so here's the thing about the photo op. Yes, there is a piece of plexiglass between you and the band. Yes, it is a bummer. It's a shame. Yes, it's a little ridiculous. There's a billion people complaining about it online right now. Although these billion of people complaining about it have never done the meet and greet or the VIP. The people who have done the VIP and meet and greet have not complained about it. Here's my opinion about the plexiglass situation. I used to be a part of the business. I know what it takes to put on a tour. Tours as big as Warped Tour and Lollapalooza and Ozfest, and there's also tours as big as living in a van for 4 months and playing in front of 7 people a night. There are things involved, such as insurance. In my experience doing the photo op with Kiss, I 1,000% believe it's because only due to insurance. I have a lot of friends of mine, personal friends who are still in the business. They can vouch for me to say a lot of tours that are happening right now, the insurance to put on a tour right now is astonishing because of COVID-19. The recent Green Day and Weezer and Fall Out Boy tour, I have good friends of mine who were on that tour as basically the guys working the books. I know for a fact that their insurance was $1 million a night because of COVID-19. Just to cover everyone's ass, just to make sure everyone was safe. These are the people who are in charge of calling the shots, such as putting plexiglass between you and the band. The same people who do it at conventions now, at sci-fi conventions and comic book conventions. That's the reason why they're there. It has nothing to do with the band, nothing to do with the association or the crew. I guarantee you, I can almost promise you it comes down to insurance. So the argument of complaining, oh, there's plexiglass, I'm not actually with the band. You are though, because you know, in my moment with the band, I was less than a foot away from Paul. And I'm talking to Paul. And Paul is talking to me through the plexiglass. I don't know, I don't understand what's there to complain about it other than just to complain. A lot of people don't understand the business side of these things. A lot of people don't understand that there is things like insurance, so much more than just putting on a rock show. The protection of the band, protection of the crew, protection of the future and the schedule. Being if someone gets sick. I mean, these things are all considered through money, unfortunately. And that's the guys who are making these decisions. So don't blame Kiss. Don't blame the band. Don't blame Gene or Paul saying it was them. You don't know that. And I can guarantee you, as someone who has a lot of background and history of doing these things, has nothing to do with them. And if it does, it does. That's fine. But considering that they were coming out of the plexiglass to say hi to people before the photos, and Gene being up close to people as the Demon, as Gene Simmons, that proves my point right there. It's not about them. It's not about the band's choice to do this. It's the insurance. And unfortunately, that's just something that we're going to have to deal with for a very, very long time, unfortunately. And if you're not happy with it, then the simple fact is to not do it. You know, if you're not happy with taking a picture with the band in front of plexiglass, simply don't do it. That's all I can say. But it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So unfortunately, it is what it is. And when it comes to insurance and money, I can tell you, there's no getting around that. So I'm standing there in line, I'm waiting for my turn. There's people in front of me, they're taking their pictures with Kiss. We all joked while waiting online to go backstage that it was going to be in and out. We just knew and joked around about how it was going to be a rush. Okay, go in, say hi, take a picture, okay, get out. We already had it in mind. I was telling people don't blink because you'll miss it. But I can tell you, it wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like that at all whatsoever. And, you know, everyone who had something to say one-on-one with the band, they did. You know, they stood there, they took off their mask, they took their picture. After that, they turned around, and if you wanted to say something to the band, they did. And there was no one rushing you out of the way. There was no one telling you to hustle and get out of the way and move it, move it, move it. Nothing like that at all. So everyone was having their moment with Kiss, taking a picture with Kiss, and then one after another, it became my turn. I took off my mask before I even walked up to them, and then I walked right up to Kiss. I had a moment before the picture. I looked back at the band, and a mystery of my entire life was solved, finally. So I am, as I've stated before, I am 6'8". I'm a big, tall guy. I have always wondered how tall Kiss was compared to me when they wore those 8-inch heels. When I was talking to Kiss, I was eye to eye with Paul and Gene. And that was in the back of my head, and I had a little laugh. And then I turned around, I looked at the camera, and they took the picture. No flash. There was no flash. The photographer took a great picture. After that, I turned around, and like I said, I'm less than a foot away from the band. I mean, I am close. It's really loud backstage, really, really loud. So I'm very close to them. And Paul and Gene are, right there in front of me. And I looked at them both, and I said, I know I said something out there for your Soundcheck guys, but really, I gotta say it again. You guys, you mean the world to me. You mean everything to me. And without Kiss, I would never, ever be the man who I am today. Without the music of Kiss, and without Kiss, I would never even be close to who I am today. So, thank you. Really, thank you. And I couldn't shake their hands, so I just kept doing this. And Gene, being Gene, trying not to break the character of Gene Simmons and the demon, he gave me a fist bump through the plexiglass. So we kind of through the plexiglass, and Paul just kept pointing at me like this, and Paul just kept saying, "No, really, thank you. You mean the world to us," he said. And I don't remember what else he said, but he just kept pointing at me. He says, "No, really, thank you so much for saying that, because you mean the world to us." And once again, I started breaking down, and I got real choked up, and I couldn't say much at all after that. But to have that moment, talking to Gene and Paul like that, a room full of people, to me, there was no one else there but the three of us. And that's how they made me feel talking to me, and that's how Paul made me feel. And I never thought I would ever experience such a thing in my entire life from Paul Stanley and Kiss. As I was walking away, I said, "Have a great show, guys. Have a great show. Thank you so much." And once again, Paul said, No, thank you. Thank you. Enjoy the show," he said. As I was walking away, Eric Singer was at the very end, and he was looking around like this. And he looked at me, and he was like, and so I walked up to Eric. Eric came out from behind the plexiglass, and he held his hand out like this. And I thought he was fist bumping me, but he was like, "No." So I held up my hand, and he gave me guitar picks with Eric Singer's name on it. And then I just looked at him, I said, "Thank you, man." And I walked away. And that was my way of saying goodbye to the band. And then it occurred to me that everyone in front of me who was doing the photo op, and then I hung out a little bit on the side, I was watching everyone behind me doing the photo op. No one else got guitar picks from Eric. It was just me. And that was, I don't want to be selfish or blow smoke up my own ass, but I walked out of there. They escorted me from out of the backstage area into the front of the stage, where I saw 14,000 people waiting for the show to start. And I had a big chip on my shoulder. I walked into that crowd thinking, this is the greatest night of my life, honestly. I can think of many moments in my life, but this is the greatest night of my life. And I have to thank my girlfriend for getting me the ticket, but I also have to thank Kiss for making this happen. As I walked to my seat, I was on the opposite side of the arena where my seats were, So I had a moment to think. I was cutting through the crowd, and I just kept thinking about, there's something really magical that's not really spoken about at all. When people meet their idols, they meet their heroes. Not only that they meet them and say hi, but they have a conversation with them to acknowledge each other, and they have a conversation back. There's a feeling that you get, and there's a thought that you get saying, Kiss is the biggest band of my life. Kiss is the most important band in my life. I don't look at Kiss the same way. I'm full of Kiss merchandise. I have Kiss merchandise everywhere. I have every concert DVD I can get my hands on. I have every bootleg concert. I have so many pictures and posters and records. I listen to Kiss every day. Ever since that night, they're not the same band anymore. They're not. And there's something much, much more special to me, because there's something magical about when you meet your hero and your idols, you don't acknowledge them, they acknowledge you. You have this moment where you think, they know that I exist. They probably have long forgotten about me by now, but to have that moment to know that they know that I exist, that I'm here and I'm speaking to them and they listen to me. I'm not getting an autograph at a convention. I'm just simply having a conversation backstage with them, and a conversation during Soundcheck. And there's something that has to be said about that, because it is so remarkable and life-changing. I know this is cliche, I know it's ridiculous to say because it's a Kiss concert, but my life is forever changed because of this experience. The show hasn't even started yet. They haven't even played their first song. I could have died. But by the time I was walking to my seat to meet with my girlfriend and her brother, I could have died on the way there and I would have been happy. I would have been fine with it. I look at life very differently, after meeting your idols, meeting your heroes since you were a child. Since I was 8 years old, listening to Kiss records, worshiping Kiss. Everything that had Kiss on it, I owned. Every movie, every comic book, every record, every t-shirt I can get my hands on. Worshiping Kiss. Being beat up in school, literally physically beat up and made fun of at school for listening to Kiss. And now in my 30s, still just as crazy about Kiss as I was when I was 8 years old. It means the world to me to know that I had that moment with them, and I could never thank them enough for that. And that was truly something I will never, ever forget. Never forget. And I'll take with me for the rest of my life. And I hope to tell my kids, my grandkids, all about it while they tell me to shut the hell up. It's four guys wearing clown makeup. What are you talking about? But really, it was quite something. And then I met Peter. I met Peter before. He wasn't very talkative though. He didn't want to talk or anything. I didn't get a picture or anything signed. I just wanted to say hi to Peter. And it was very quick, and it was nice to know, to say hi to Peter Criss. I've spent a lot of time with Ace. I'm a gigantic Ace Frehley fan. Worship Ace, and the conversations I've had with him were so sweet and so humble and so nice. And he gave the world to me just as much. And now to live a life that I've worshipped Kiss since as long as I can remember, and I've gotten my experience for all four original members. It's truly remarkable. So honestly, back to the subject of these VIP meet and greets and the VIP diamond package, whatever, I'll say it again. It's not the same as it used to be. They don't do the acoustic show anymore. They don't do the one-on-one meet and greet where you can bring all your records and comics and all your stuff with you to have signed. They don't do that anymore. What they do is, in my opinion, this was my first time. This is my first time doing VIP for Kiss, so I can't compare it to the other times. I'm sure it was a lot more mutual. It's a lot more intimate back then. The time that I had, that whole day, I had a whole half a day with Kiss, hanging out with Kiss and the crew, the Kiss crew, the road crew, and the backstage, and having dinner before the show even started. I had an absolute blast of a time. And I think if anyone has anything negative to say about that, you shouldn't be there then. It's not for you then. If you think that $1,000 should get you more than what I got, that's fine. Everyone has entitled for their opinion, But I was amazed that how much was given to me just from doing it, just from being there. That's this thing I can say about these packages. KISS was always known for the best meet and greets and the best VIP packages of any concert in the world, and this proves it. I'm a firm believer after this one show. It was such a good time, and I can't say enough good things about it. And if I were to do it again, would I do anything different? No. Nothing different at all. As ridiculous and cliche as it sounds, it was life-changing. I haven't been the same guy since that night, and it's only been a week. 2 days ago was a week. Yeah, I highly recommend it. If you're a KISS fan and you're thinking this is the last time I'm going to see them, the last tour, and if I want to put money on this VIP, do it. You know, there's one thing that we learned, especially this past year, ever since Eddie died, ever since we lost Eddie Van Halen, you know, life's too short. And you should spend less time complaining about the packages and the money and focusing on, do I want to experience this for myself, or do I at least want to see the band? Do I want to see the show? Because I tell you, my years of seeing KISS, that was the best I ever seen KISS play. That was the best KISS show I've ever been to in my life. If you have any type of negative opinion, or just opinions alone about KISS, it's the same as having opinions on toppings on a pizza. If you don't like it, don't eat it. If you don't like it, then don't do it. If you don't agree with how the things are ran now, then don't go. And that's as simple as you can get. So honestly, the VIP Diamond package, 1000% recommended, especially as a KISS fan. And wow, what a life-changing night. That's all I can say, really. So that's it. That's all I have to say about the KISS VIP Diamond package. The show was fantastic. The show was great. The experience was, I can't recommend it enough as a KISS fan. It's incredible. It's the greatest experience I've had in a long time. So thank you for hearing my side and my story. Hopefully this clears the air of a lot of questions, answers a lot of them that they have online about what the hell's going on with VIP packages for KISS these days. If this makes any dent or make any progress in someone else's decision to do this or to even understand what's going on, that's great. But this is me telling my story and clearing the air for anyone who's considering it. Do I recommend it? 1000%. As a KISS fan, 1000%. Because this is the ultimate package for the end of the road tour, and I think everyone who's a KISS fan should experience it at least once. So thank you for listening to me, and thank you for watching.